Hey everybody, Daniel here. I share these posts in my Facebook group. So yeah, I think that one of the best ways to learn is by going over leads that come in. And a lot of people have a hard time generating leads, and when they do, they find a lot of unqualified deals. So to cut through the chase, and so you could find, so you would know what's fundable and what's not fundable. I like to do these posts on Facebook, and I know not everyone has Facebook, not everyone's in that group. So I thought I would start doing these quick videos so I can share them on my YouTube channel. So with that being said, I had a lead come over today. It actually looked pretty decent. Within the lead form, business had revenue. They've been in business for a while. Funding requests, look reasonable. So I called the rep. Typically, I usually do that, and I just wanted to go over the deal, the lead, and get a little bit more background. During that conversation, it finds out that the client is currently has an active bankruptcy. So at that point, the whole deal changes. So somebody is in an active bankruptcy, they're generally not getting approved for any type of funding. That includes business funding. Doesn't matter if the business is doing great revenue or they've been open for years. Lenders are not going to look at an open bankruptcy and they're going to look at it and they're going to stop it right there. Reason pretty simple. The borrower is still in the middle of a legal process and they're dealing with existing debt. So their financial situation is not fully yet settled. And depending on the type of bankruptcy, taking on new debt can create even more issues. So, this is something brokers, kind of need to understand up front. That's why we always request that when you speak to a client, that you ask for an updated credit report. There's an affiliate program that pays out an affiliate commission as well if they pull their credit through your affiliate link, which we always recommend because it creates an additional revenue stream for brokers. But because a deal can look great at first, good revenue, good time in business, reasonable funding amount, you find out there's an active bankruptcy and it's dead at that point. With pretty much any lender. So once the bankruptcy is discharged or resolved, then it's a different story. At that point, we can look into, at the credit and business revenue. And, as long as the bankruptcy is completely done and over with, then we may have options available at that point. So, but while, it's still open, once again, there's not much we can do with it. So before you submit a deal, make sure you're asking you're having a conversation with these clients, outside, what they wanted to actually do, with the actual funding itself. Ask about, hey, how's your personal credit? Any open bankruptcies, anything like that. I actually make that part of my pitch. I always ask, because I want to dig in deeper into their actual credit, without making it, completely sound like it's all about their credit. So it's a simple question. It can save everybody a lot of time as well. So that's it for this one. If anybody has any questions at all, feel free to reach out.